everyone, I'm Dr. Natalie with Countryside and Nokomis Veterinary Service, and today I wanted to talk to you about heartworm disease in dogs. The weather's getting nicer outside, we're outside longer with our dogs, and the chances of them contracting heartworms is at an increased rate at this point. And so I just want to talk to you guys about what is heartworm disease, how do animals get it, how often do we see something like that in our clinic, and what are our treatment and prevention options for that particular disease. So first, let's talk about the incidence. How often do we see it? I'm going to show you a map here. This is an incidence map of the United States for heartworm disease. And through the years, we've seen an increase in the number of cases throughout the country, but especially moving from south to north, as this is transmitted by mosquitoes. So in 2007, we've got a little bit of red in here, which would be an increased number of cases. And as we move through the years, we see that dark red is moving north towards where we are here in Illinois. So it's definitely becoming more common, and actually at our 2 clinics alone, we've seen 5 cases in the last month. So in the month of April, we had 5 positive dogs that we just caught on routine annual screening when they came in for their vaccines. So how do your dogs get the disease? So as we look at this graphic, what we've got here is a heartworm positive dog and a heartworm negative dog. What happens is a mosquito takes a blood meal from a heartworm positive dog, sucking up some of the larvae into their bodies as they fly off. Over time, those larvae develop into an infective stage of the heartworm larvae, and now this infective mosquito bites this heartworm negative dog. And then in about 5 to 7 months after being bitten by an infected mosquito, this dog will now be heartworm positive. And what will happen is those heartworms will travel through the bloodstream and set up shop in the dog's heart. And as the disease gets worse and worse, the amount of heartworms in the heart will get bigger, and then they can even start to move from the heart itself into the vasculature of the lungs and starting to clog up the vasculature in the lungs themselves. So what do we do about a heartworm positive dog? There is treatment that is available. It's in the form of injections. It's pretty toxic medication that we do have to give the dogs in order to kill the worms themselves. So it's hard on the dogs, but it's necessary. If we let the worms just go on and continue to grow, eventually the dogs will succumb to that disease and die from their heartworm disease. So if they do get them, we have a treatment option, but it's hard on the dogs and it's expensive as well. I also wanted to show you what a heartworm test looks like. This would be what kind of test you'd be getting at your annual exam when you're getting your vaccines. It just takes 1 drop of blood, and what we see here is the line under the C tells us the test ran. The line under the T there tells us that the dog is positive for heartworms. And again, this was a patient of ours that we saw last month just in for his annual vaccines, and then we found out he had heartworms. So what do we do to prevent this from happening? And the answer is we've got options. So this is just an example of one medication that we carry in hospital as a heartworm prevention. This is called HeartGuard. It comes in the form of a chewable treat. It's given once a month to your dogs, and they're prevented for heartworms once they get that treatment prevention. And again, the treatment for when they're positive is very expensive. For one heartworm positive dog that has to go through the injectable treatment, you could about 6 years of prevention. So what that tells us is this is a disease that is a lot more cost effective to prevent than to treat, and also in terms of the health of the dog, a lot easier to prevent it than to have to put their bodies through the treatment of killing the worms. So the points I want you guys to take away from the video today: heartworms are transmitted by mosquitoes. Any dog that goes outside, or really any dog, is susceptible to this disease. It just takes 1 mosquito bite to transmit the disease. Treatment for if they do contract heartworms is expensive and hard on the dogs, and the disease is 100% preventable with appropriate prevention and testing. If you guys have any questions about heartworms, please feel free to ask us when you're in for your annual vaccines or just coming in to visit. Any of the veterinarians or technicians will be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you. Have a great day.